But Cardinals fans out there would like us to talk about what they did well, and we're going to right now. Mainly because it leads to the possibility of drama in the not-too-distant future. Because Jacoby Brissett's the guy. They tiptoed around it last night. It was so funny. Is it time to have that conversation, Troy? I don't know, Joe. It is. And it's not a conversation. It's not a conversation. Jacoby Brissett's the guy. You don't bring Kyler Murray back unless and until the chariot turns into a pumpkin for Jacoby Brissett. You go into Dallas on a Monday night and you win. And Dallas is kind of like their arch rival. The Cardinals don't really have a rival. The Rams and the 49ers and the Seahawks look at them and they say, pfft. But the Cardinals have always had this thing with the Cowboys. There's always been this thing, and the Cardinals beat the Cowboys in the playoffs one year, I believe, in 88-ish, I think. No, 98. But this was a big deal to go in there and beat the Cowboys. And Jacoby Brissett's getting it done. And there's something weird going on with the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. And so, Jacoby Brissett, he's been around, what? Is this year 11, year 12 for him? It was an impressive performance, and he runs that offense better than Kyler Murray does.
It's simple, and I think you look at the numbers, and that tells one story. But you turn on the film, it looks like a competent offense. It looks like an offense that has a shot. You look at his record as 1-2. They took Green Bay down at a wire. They had a shot to win that Green Bay game. This team is playing at a way higher level, and we talked about it numerous times on this show. It has nothing to do with the front office, the contract. This has a chance to do with your locker room. You cannot take guys out who are giving you the best chance to win. And it's obvious. And I text Jacoby while they were playing because he scores on the touchdown. And he reminds you of your piano, the piano teacher. Never too high, never too low, just kind of boring. He scores a touchdown, no spike, no anything, just gets up and softly taps each lineman on the helmet, taps the skill players, and jogs at the sideline. I go, hey, spike the ball, do something. You look boring. He was like, I'm just trying to make sure we finish the game. And I think that's what the Cardinals were lacking a little bit. They have a guy in there that is a guy who's played with Tom Brady. He's played, for the Colts when then Phillip Rivers came in and he lost his spot. He's been through a lot. He went and played for New England last year, and he was only there so they could wait and buy time to put Drake May in. He went out there, got beat up the first 4 games, and Drake May comes in. He's the savior. He goes to Arizona, gets an opportunity, and just relishes in that moment. And I think for that locker room, they're like, man, this is a guy who's a team-first guy. He's an older guy. All he cares about is how he can put us in position to win a game. And that's what he's been doing. He's putting his team in position. Last night looked like a prime example of the offense coming in and saying, hey, we want to do things a little different. We want to put Marvin Harrison Jr. as a primary guy. We want to do and Jacoby's like, cool, let's just go execute it. And they executed, and they played well. I think it would be impossible for them to say, hey, now Kyler Murray, you're in. They might, whatever they need to do, hey, he's still hurt. Hey, we want to make sure he's 100%. I'm not saying they got to come out and just say, hey, he's healthy, Jacoby's the guy. But they need to figure out something with him of what is the story we're going with, because we're not taking Jacoby off the field.
And it will be a story. You're right on the money. Your instincts are accurate. I think that there are going to be layers and levels to this unrelated to the simple question of making one guy a starter and the other guy the backup. But before we get there, we're going to hear from Jacoby Brissett. And before I go there, I just have to point out something you said that really caught my interest. You'll text someone when you know there's no way in hell they're going to see it, and it's going to get buried behind 100 other texts. Wow. See, I won't do that. I'll only text someone if I think there's a reasonable chance they're going to see it right now, because I'm concerned if you don't see it right now, they're never going to see it. Because I get screenshots sometimes. A guy sent me a screenshot yesterday of a text message that he got. And I always look up at the corner and I see how many text messages they have that they haven't read. And the bigger the number is, the more nervous I get, because I pride myself on keeping mine at 0. He had 178. So my response was, dude, check your text messages. So,
But it lets
so
you know
your
where you
text to
rank.
Jacoby, your text to Jacoby is somewhere in the 178 of unread text messages that he got during the game last night.
But I went to sleep, and I know for him, he has all night to respond. So, like, check all 200 text messages you got before, but at 2:01, you better check my message. And he did. He responded. Because if not, now we got a problem. I see. We're not really friends anymore. And now I'm going to go. If he didn't
that's the thing,
respond,
yeah.
I would have bashed him this morning. I would have bashed him.
All right. Well, that's a good way to test whether the friendship is one-way or two-way, point I made earlier. So, one of these days, like when you're doing a game for Westwood One, or you're like the grand marshal of a parade somewhere, and I know you're unavailable, you're ringing the bell at Gillette Stadium, whatever it may be, I'll text you when I know you're not available, and we'll see how long it takes for you to get back to me. Okay, here's Jacoby Brissett, as promised, and about 7 minutes later. Here's Jacoby Brissett.
Cowboys Nation, listen closely. Because what just happened in Dallas is bigger than a trade headline, bigger than a front office maneuver, bigger than just another deadline deal. This is a signal. This is a declaration. This is the organization stepping forward, not backwards, and saying with their chest that they're ready to reshape the identity of this football team from the inside out. And let's be very clear about this. Moves like this don't get made by teams that are confused about who they are. Moves like this are made by teams that have looked their weaknesses straight in the eyes and decided to fix them with force. We saw two moves come through this deadline, and at first, one of them seemed like something small. Logan Wilson, a steady, disciplined, blue-collar linebacker who came from Cincinnati. A 7th-round pick. Some folks shrugged. Some said it was filler. Some said it was patchwork. But look deeper. Look at who Logan Wilson is. Look at the tape. This is a linebacker who diagnoses plays instantly, a communicator, a locker room adult, someone you don't worry about in assignment-based defense. And when you combine him with this Cowboys system, that gives Dan Quinn, or whoever steps forward in the new defensive structure, the ability to line up in fronts that require trust. You need players who aren't freelancing, who aren't guessing, who understand leverage, pursuit angles, and where the ball is going before it gets there. Logan Wilson is not the flashy piece. He is not the fireworks, but he is infrastructure. That's the foundation being poured. But then the stadium lights flipped. The crowd noise shifted. Because that second move, that wasn't small. That wasn't quiet. That wasn't subtle. That was Dallas stepping into the center of the league's attention and saying, we are done being pushed around in the trenches. We are done hoping the defensive interior finds itself. We are done pretending that defensive line pressure will magically appear, because the Dallas Cowboys just traded for Quinnen Williams. This is the type of acquisition that changes how your team walks off the bus. This is a move that changes the way offensive coordinators prepare their game plan. Quinnen Williams is not just a player. Quinnen Williams is gravitational force. You don't block him with one guy. You don't ask your interior line to do their best. You don't slide protection casually. You build your entire offensive structure around preventing Quinnen Williams from wrecking your day. Now let's address the conversation that came out of the media. The grades, the takes, the analyst talk. SI gives it a B+, and that's fine. They're doing what analysts do. Measuring draft capital, looking at timelines, projecting ceilings. They pointed out something real. This team has drafted edge rushers well over the years, from DeMarcus Lawrence to Sam Williams to others in development. But interior defensive linemen, that's been the missing piece. That's been the Achilles. The Cowboys have tried. They've taken swings. They've experimented. They've rotated bodies. And every year when it came time to face the big boys of the NFC, the Niners, the Eagles, the trenches first teams, Dallas would get bullied between the tackles. If you want to play January football, you need interior dominance. You need a man who resets the line of scrimmage by himself. You need someone who demands double teams even when he's not playing at his best. And yes, it's true, Quinnen Williams hasn't had his flashiest statistical season. 1 sack so far. Down years in production. People want to look at numbers and try to define the value of a player like that through a basic box score. But let's be very clear. Some defensive tackles get stats, Others control the game. Quinnen Williams has always been the second type. Even in a quieter season, he is forcing offenses to account for him. And you want to talk about unlocking his form? Dallas is the place where players have rediscovered who they are. Look at what this defense has asked for: leadership, violence inside, consistency, and now you have it. And let's not pretend the cost wasn't real. A first-round pick in 2027, a second-round pick in 2026, Mozzie Smith heading back. Picks are potential, picks are hope. But Dallas did something that separates contenders from hobbyists. They chose proven force over the gamble of someday. And that's where we get to the heart of it. That's where the real conversation is happening across talk shows, podcast rooms, fan groups, and locker room corners. Because the criticism was not about the player. The criticism was about timing. Did Dallas sacrifice too much for a season where the NFC is loaded, where the playoff path is brutal, where maybe this isn't their year? And here's the truth that analysts don't say out loud. Sometimes you don't build for this week. You build for the war. You build for the era. You build for the identity you want to carry for years. You don't win championships by being reactive. You win championships by deciding who you are before the league forces your hand. Quinnen Williams is not a rental. He is a pillar. He is the anchor piece of the defensive line for 2026, 2027, 2028. This is the post-Micah Parsons restructuring. This is Dallas saying, we are not just going to rely on hero ball edge pressure. We are going to build from the inside, where championships are won. And I want Cowboys fans to feel this deeply. For years, national media laughed when we talked about being physical. They dismissed Dallas as finesse, highlight-driven, built for September, not January. This move says enough. This move says Dallas is ready to fight in the mud. This move says the next era of Cowboys football is going to hit first and keep hitting. So, Cowboys Nation, now I turn to you. Do you feel the shift? Do you feel the identity changing? Do you see the foundation being laid? Because this is not the end of the story. This is the start of a new chapter in how Dallas builds, competes, and imposes its will on both sides of the ball. Now I want to hear from you in the comments. Did Dallas make the right move? Do you believe Quinnen Williams is the piece that changes the trenches for years to come? Tell me what you think. And if you believe this team is building something real, something strong, something that is finally ready to punch back, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in here with us. This is Cowboys Nation Report, and we're just getting started.